Hey everyone.
Hey everybody.
How's it
Welcome
going?
back to the ReVitalized podcast.
podcast.
I'm your host, Justin Oliver. Almost forgot.
I'm your co-host, Elle Sherwood. Didn't forget.
And today, this was a great episode. This is our first time that we live streamed the recording for everybody in Warrior Nation. So all of you, you know who you are. If you want more details on that, all the info is in the description. But yeah, first live stream, Q&A at the end, awesome, lots of great questions, and just the episode itself,
fun.
It was great.
Yeah, it was a great fun. It was so much fun. We had people commenting, and they kind of joined the conversation and stuff.
The interactivity
was really
cool.
Nice. It was really
nice. It was cool to have you guys with us while we were recording. It was nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, Casey couldn't figure it out from the title. This episode, it's just it's an excuse to give up all your excuses, you know?
That's a good way of putting it, Justin.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I try. I do. You know, but yeah, it's just like, guys, if you needed a wake up call, if you needed something to kind of snap you back to reality and just, you know, remind you of how important your health is, this one's it. This one. If
it's a good reality check.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good reality check. It's good to, you know, if somebody watches through this whole thing, which I think you kind of really need to if you want to get the full picture of what we're talking about, because this one, it's a real good, friendly reminder to make sure that you are a high priority in your life and your health is a high priority in your life, and just a lot of stuff, making sure that you're thinking right about certain things, you know, that you're thinking right, that you're looking at things from a good perspective, you're asking yourself and your family intelligent questions, and, you know, just you'll leave this episode with a lot more hope, I think, than you had going into it. You know?
Definitely.
So if you need some encouragement, if you need a reminder of what your purpose is and what you need to do in life and just where your focus and your priority should be, you know, watch this one, because it'll help a lot.
Yeah, give you a good grasp on how sick the world is and just how we can't wait anymore.
That's it.
We can't wait anymore. It's just the time is now.
Time is now.
Time is now.
Time is now.
Absolutely. Okay, well, enjoy the show, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. And if you guys want to come on our podcast next week and join the live and be part of the conversation, then, you know, just DM us, comment below. Yeah,
it's open and available for all members of Warrior Nation. You know, so if you guys want a community that cares about you and you want to find a place and a source of truth and motivation and encouragement, and just, you know, help and support and accountability and advice. And just a place to talk to real people, you know. Yeah. Come on down. We'd love to have you. Cool. Awesome, guys. Have an amazing day. Thank you for your time. Let us know what you thought. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that stuff. I think that's what you're supposed to do. I don't know.
Pretty sure that's what you're supposed to do.
Either way,
that's
have a great day.
That's what everyone else says.
Have a great day, guys.
Have a great day, guys.
Thank you for your time.
Enjoy.
See you later.
Waking up and feeling tired is not normal.
No.
To leave you guys a little news flash, okay? If you go to bed and you sleep for 6, 7, 8 hours,
go to bed on time,
9 hours, 10 hours maybe sometimes, and you wake up and you're still tired, that is a massive problem. Yeah. So if you have poor gut health, if you have a stressed out immune system, if your nervous system's overtaxed, if your metabolism's all jacked up, if your respiratory system, your circulatory system, all these different things, if you got problems in your body below the neck, you got problems above the neck. Yeah. If you thought to yourself and you before they came in the room and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna be angry today, and you just choose to be angry. Sure, all the power to you. You made yourself angry. But if somebody else is making you angry or happy or sad or depressed or excited or down or poor or rich or sick or healthy, if somebody else is affecting your life more than you, they're the ones in control. All right, guys. Okay, so welcome back. This is the first live that we're doing for the ReVitalized podcast. So all of you watching in attendance, if we say something that you like, let us know in the comments.
Yes.
Write down all your questions, and we're going to go over all of them at the end once we're done going through all the organized stuff, and we'll open things up for Q&A, so that way you guys get a chance to actually talk to us and, you know, be a part of this. Be a part of the podcast. You know, we'd love to have you guys here.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So, honey, you know, today, the docket, we going to be going over just the current state of the world.
Yeah,
you know?
Current state of the world, for sure.
Why it's so important to prioritize your health. You know, just with the way the world is these days, with all the different angles everybody's getting hit, you're not going to be healthy by accident.
No.
You know, it has to be an intentional thing.
Yeah.
You can't put it on the back burner anymore. You know, if you needed a wake up call, this is it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And, and the reality is too, is like, keep in mind, like with all the things we're going to share today, don't feel overwhelmed with all this new information, with the state of the world, with all these things, because stress obviously doesn't help with your health.
Stress does not help. No.
That's the reason why we're here, why we're doing this, why we have this community, why we have our podcast and everything. So we can help people, we can ask questions.
Totally.
Because we know how to be healthy. We do it every single day. We implement all these lifestyle changes. We've implemented all these lifestyle changes into our lives.
Yeah.
And so, for anyone who wants to make those changes, we have the answers. We are the support. We have the resources to help you guys out, to help
you guys are not doing this by yourselves.
No, you're not alone.
So if you might not be able to figure it out for yourself, that's okay.
Yeah.
Because you have a community of people that love you and care about you and want to see you guys win. You guys have a support system.
Yeah.
Here. Okay. With this podcast, with Warrior Nation, if you're a client, you guys already know. If you have a question, if you need help with something, if something isn't quite fully understood maybe, or you're lacking knowledge in a certain area, that's okay, because you guys aren't doing it by yourselves.
Yeah.
You have people beside you, with you, that can help you along, right? And so things do seem a little overwhelming right now. I get that. That's normal. But
are they ever not feeling overwhelming sometimes, all
Sure.
the things in the world?
That's true. But, it's not overwhelming when you do it together with a bunch of people, right? So, the answer isn't to get stressed out, get paralyzed by fear. And if you guys don't know what's going on, then just trying to avoid it and not look at the problem for the problem, just because that makes you feel a bit better. That's not the answer. That's not going to fix anything long term. The answer is to find help and talk to people that can teach you stuff and never stop learning, and just, find a way, regardless of what things look like.
Adapt, improvise, overcome. And the thing is...
Exactly.
The thing is too, is like, when you know the facts, then you can fix the problem, then you can make those changes, and that it shouldn't feel overwhelming. And it's just a mindset switch, but it shouldn't feel overwhelming. It should feel empowering, because hey, now you can actually make these changes, when a lot of people are going through the same kind of like worldly problems and all these like different regulations and stuff going on for them as well, but they don't have the resources, they don't have the connections to ask questions and to like double check different things.
Totally.
They don't know what to do. And so if you have an opportunity to know what to do, then that's a big privilege. That's
Huge.
a big privilege, for sure.
And ignorance, it is not bliss.
No,
that is
it never
a
was.
lie.
It never has
straight
been.
from freaking
Never will
hell.
be.
That is not
literally.
the truth at all. Ignorance could be, for some reason, you think that a bear looks cute and snuggly, and you got no idea that thing could maul you in half with one swat of his ginormous paw, and you go up to pet him when you're walking in the middle of the woods, and you die. That's ignorance. Ignorance is not knowing that drinking water out of a plastic bottle exposes your body and your immune system and your endocrine system to like over 20,000 different chemicals. And then you're just drinking it every day over and over and over again. That's ignorance, and that's not going to lead to no place good. So the answer isn't like, oh, this is too much and I can't handle all the truth going on in the world, right? Like, it's going to take time to adjust if this is all brand new to you. And if you're trying to go super far down the rabbit hole, it can be intense. But would you rather know the truth and have an opportunity to do something about it and make sure that you end out on top because you are aware of problems and are aware of certain things that most people aren't? Or would you rather just not even have the option because you don't know?
Yeah.
So everybody that's like, oh my God, I hate it when you post this on Instagram, and now I can't even and I can't use my coffee maker anymore because it's full of plastics and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, would you rather keep using the coffee maker full of plastics and then be poisoning yourself for the next 20 years because nobody told you? Come on, people just need a bit of a mindset shift, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And just a quick disclaimer, we're not like medical doctors or anything like
Definitely
that.
not.
We're
Definitely not. We're literally wearing, I'm wearing black.
Yeah.
The opposite of a white lab coat.
It's not a white coat. Anyways, but we're holistic health coaches. So but the thing is though, is like, we've seen what works. We've seen the results in people and what is necessary for people to reach their goals, to, no longer be sick, to never worry about sickness. We've, seen
the freedom that comes with that.
The freedom that comes with that, how much better they feel about themselves, how much better their relationships get better.
Totally.
And when you know what works, then you then you share with what works. You share
of course,
what
you
works
have
with
to.
people.
It's your moral obligation
It is your moral obligation to.
You know, like look at things from our perspective. I mean, you know, we have all this knowledge, all these answers, all this ability to solve these problems and stuff, and we see a world that's hurting and broken, and people are sick, and children are getting more and more obese every decade. Like, you know, things are not looking necessarily up if you're looking at the right numbers.
Definitely.
And so it's our moral obligation to provide as much help and service as we can, because we have the ability to. You know, it's like you would never see some kids getting bullied at school if you're, you know, a responsible, moral person, and not go try to help the kid getting bullied and not say something like, hey, you know, don't punch him in the face. That's not good. Or like, go get an adult, or go get the principal, or whatever. You know, like you wouldn't walk past a homeless family sitting on the street asking for help for to buy some food, and if you have the money, not give it to them if you're a good person, right? So, you know, if you have the ability to help somebody, like, there's just so much need for help in the world. It's your job to do it.
Absolutely.
You know, if you have the ability, you have to.
Yeah. And just also for reference, for anyone who's wondering about these results that we speak of, if you go to our official website and you look on results, then you'll see the just testimonial after testimony after testimony. And it's literally, it's not even testimonial, it's more like a transformation.
Totally.
Because people literally become so much better and such different people. Like, it's a dramatic
I think it still
difference.
applies under the definition of testimony.
Yeah, for sure.
But, you know, you get it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know, if nothing else, like, honey, I mean, that's totally true. I mean, you guys just, you go there, you watch a few videos, and you will leave with just, if nothing else, hope.
Yeah, hope.
Just knowing that even if it's not us, like, that's totally fine. But just
who cares? We just want you
those
healthy.
kinds of stories and those kinds of results and the transformation, like you said, honey, that those are possible for people.
Yes.
And if you have a problem similar to some of the people that we've worked with, you know, if they can do it, you can do it too. Just that simple, right?
Absolutely.
You know, so like all that. It's not supposed to be a plug or anything, but I mean, like, guys, just, you know, we're going to get into it real deep today, but basically just the moral of this whole episode is just that, you know, with the state of the world, with everything going on, with the water, with the food, with the air, with the medications, the people in your lives, like the environment, your daily habits, your lifestyle, your work, your home, the chemicals, like there's so many things that are fighting against our health. You are not going to be able to win if you're not in the fight.
Yeah.
You know, not that you have to, you know, dedicate every waking hour of your lives to health or anything like that.
You have to move to like the mountains or something like that and build like a log cabin.
Not that you have to give up on everything that you love and never eat a tasty thing ever again. It's not about that. But it's just, you have to be intentional about it, and you have to, you know, some way, somehow develop and create a lifestyle, a way of living that will support your health and counteract all the things that are fighting against you.
Yeah,
you know, like, otherwise, you know, just something, some way, somehow will become a problem.
Yeah.
You know, you'll develop a chronic condition. You'll maybe develop a cancer or diabetes or a mental problem, or you'll get fat, or just something will go wrong. Like, no one's going to make it out unscathed unless they're really working at it.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
So just like when we say the current state of the world, like, what do we mean? Okay. Well, I mean, you know, just look at where things are at. Has any of you listening live or watching the recording, just ask yourself, have any of you ever met a family that didn't have somebody sick in it?
Yeah.
In your life? Do you have a single friend, a single coworker? Have you ever met anybody on the street, at the grocery store, in the mall, anybody that doesn't have sick people in their lives? I know I sure haven't.
Yeah.
Have you any?
No.
Right? Like, it just, that does not happen. Everybody's got somebody, a sick uncle or a mom or their brother or their best friend or their boss or their coworker. Everybody knows sick people. Like, sickness is everywhere. It is. It is everywhere. And people just become so numb and just used to it.
Yeah,
like
it just becomes
accepted
normal.
it as normal.
Oh, it's just the way it is. There's nothing we can really do about it. But okay, well, why can people get better from it then? Once they get healthy, if they can get better, then why can't you get better?
Absolutely. If somebody else has had the same health condition that you have, or that your brother has, or that your mom has, or that your dad has, or that your wife has, and somebody in history has been able to reverse it and overcome it, then why can't you and why can't your family?
Yeah.
Right? If one person can do it, another person can do it. I mean, we're all humans. We all, got the same basic system going on. We all have a brain and a heart and intestines, and we all have an immune system. Some definitely got better parts than others. Some make better choices than others. Some got more advantages and disadvantages than others. Everybody's unique. That's fine. But if a person can do it and it has been done, then it can be done again. And if it can be done, why not you do it? Like just waking up and feeling tired is not normal.
No.
I'm just going to give you guys a little news flash. Okay. If you go to bed and you sleep for 6, 7, 8 hours.
Go to bed on time.
9 hours, 10 hours maybe sometimes. And you wake up and you're still tired. That is a massive problem.
Yeah.
That is a huge red flag. Like, can we all agree on this for a second? You go put gas in your car and all of a sudden your engine slows down and your car eventually stops working when it has a full tank of gas. It's like something's wrong with the fuel. You go put more fuel in and the car gets tired. You go recharge, recover, you sleep. You go through all your different sleep processes. You hit REM. Your organs get to flush and recycle, and you have all these things. You trigger autophagy and all that kind of stuff. And then you wake up and you feel tired after just recharging your batteries.
That doesn't make sense.
That's kind of the opposite of what you'd expect to happen. Like if you just look at it from a common sense standpoint, or you eat some food and you refuel your body and then you go into a food coma. Like just people have accepted these things as normal, and the answer is not a pill or a magic diet or anything. It's just you have to properly educate yourself about what's going on in the world, what you're fighting against, because if you don't properly train or prepare for it, you're going to lose. You're going to lose the match. Like if you're going into a boxing ring and you got no idea who your opponent is, you can't watch tape, you can't study their style, you can't figure out who coached them and what they know, what they learn, what their best punch is, what their worst punch is. You can walk in that ring and you can see Mike Tyson standing there next to you. You're going to be completely demolished, right? And it's just, with things like our health and the future of our families and stuff like that, like this stuff just is too important to put to chance.
It really is. And so often our health is in our society, health is like pushed to the back burner. Like all the time. This has to take precedence over my health. This has to take precedence over my health.
Oh, dude, as long as I got a six pack and I go for a run in the morning, like I'm good. I can eat McDonald's, I can drink on the weekends because I look healthy. And, as long as I go to the gym a couple times a week, then I'm set.
Yeah.
Like that's not a long-term solution, people.
Symptoms are signals from your body telling you that something is wrong.
Absolutely.
Like check your engine light.
For sure.
That's all it is. If you're having symptoms, then there's a reason for it. And if you don't resolve that root issue, then you're going to have like bigger issues than what you have right now. Just the little symptoms of like maybe, I'm kind of more tired in the morning, but that's fine. I'll just drink
it's like a check engine light. You see the check engine light comes on.
Oh, that's a great analogy, Justin.
You're not, is it?
I just said that.
Did you? What? No, you didn't. Really?
Yes, I did. Someone back me up on this.
Wow. Okay. Anyway.
Men. No kidding. But yeah, if you don't deal with your issues right now, then it's gonna be bigger issues in the future.
Totally.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it. But I mean, like on that note though, on the check engine light analogy, okay? If like nobody does that with anything else other than their health and their body. Nobody. Maybe if you're very, very struggling financially, I understand it. You might push it off by a bit, but nobody is going to see the check engine light come on and then not go to the mechanic or ask their handy friend or do something to try to fix it
at least a
for like 6 months or a year. Like, I'll look at it next summer.
Well, there are some people who actually do that though.
Really?
Yes.
I've never met any.
Yeah. No, but anyways, okay. Well, at least common sense wise, that's not.
Nobody has a flood in the basement and then pushes off calling the people to come fix their home for 6 months. Nobody has a leaky roof, or nobody has a dog with an ear infection, or they get into an accident and they break their leg and they're just like, I'm not going to go to the vet right now.
And the thing is too, is like, even like, let's say like in reference to the leaky roof, like even if you can't replace your roof right now type thing, like same thing with your health, even if you can't do a whole 180 lifestyle change or something, you can still put buckets down. You can still like try to cover the roof.
Like you don't just completely ignore it.
Yeah, exactly.
And like nobody's going to not wipe poop off their shoe. You know, like if you have a problem, you fix the problem. But everybody just thinks, oh, I'll do a diet in the new year, you know, and I'm going to get ready for summer.
Once I feel motivated.
And then now winter's coming back, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, who cares anyways? I'm beautiful.
I get headaches. It's okay. You know, I'll talk to somebody in a while. You know, I wake up in pain. You know, next week. It's
fine.
It's good.
Fine.
One more weekend, not going to kill me.
Yeah.
You know, like, but people don't do that with the rest of their lives. They do that with themselves.
Yeah.
They do that with their bodies because, you know, everybody's got an identity problem. Nobody has any idea who they are anymore.
It really shows like how little people care about like life itself, but also themselves. And the thing is too, is like, if you don't value life, if you don't value yourself, then you're not going to fight for yourself.
Totally.
And that's shown like in your actions. So if you're doing self-sabotaging actions and living a self-sabotaging lifestyle, then it's showcasing that you do not care about yourself. Like even on the most fundamental level, which is, you know, caring for your like truest basic needs. And that doesn't just mean eating, that means eating for the sake of properly nourishing yourself.
Totally.
Not just eating to eat, not just living to eat, but you know, eating to live.
Absolutely.
And it's a really, really, really big deal because you know, part of really taking care of your health, it really helps you and teaches you how to care for yourself, how to start caring about other people. There's so many benefits to it. Yeah. And, you know, for a lot of us, like anyone who's been through like a lot of trauma and stuff, it's like, okay, well, how do I really go through these things? I don't want to sit on the couch and talk about my problems and, you know, go through over and over and over again all the hard things that I've been through, replaying it again and again and again. Well, if you can fix your health, if you can improve your health, you will dramatically improve your mental health. And then you'll have you'll believe that you have the capacity, the capability to actually do something about it, to do something with the bigger issues in your life, like any relationship issues, financial issues, you know, past issues that are coming up and stuff, because you'll start to recognize like, hey, I am worth fighting for because you started fighting for yourself. So it's there's only good things when it comes to like improving your health.
There's no downside. There's no downside. And you know, I would even argue that like, can you really say that you love yourself and you care about yourself and you value yourself if you're not prioritizing your health?
Yeah.
You know,
no.
Like, is there a bigger act of self-loathing and putting yourself low on the totem pole than slowly over time letting yourself gain 40, 50, 60 extra pounds and having to wake up and you can't breathe properly and your knees hurt and you got a heart problem and then you continue to not do anything about it? Like, would you do that for your loved ones if you saw your wife or your children or your husband doing that? Would you like, hey, you know, keep eating pizza, keep eating Pop-Tarts, don't drink enough water, don't go outside, don't go for a walk? You're like, would you encourage that behavior in anybody that you care about? No.
Yeah.
Chances are, hopefully not, because you love that person, because you care about that person, because you want the best for them. You know, but everybody, because we've all got issues and baggage and all this trauma and all these things going on, everybody has a terrible self-image.
Yes.
And they don't take care of themselves because they don't, you know, everybody's got issues with themselves, you know. Nobody has seen you make more stupid decisions than you. Nobody has seen you say more stupid things than you. Nobody has seen you let anybody down more than you. Nobody's seen you lie more than you, cheat more than you, steal, hurt people, hurt yourself, fail. Nobody's seen the worst side of you other than you and God. Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. Next to God, you're the only one that knows how bad you've really been and how bad you really can be.
You're the prime witness.
Absolutely. So you're going to have the toughest time having a good image of yourself more than anybody else because you've seen the worst and the bad and the most ugly from you than your wife has, than your children have, than your parents have, than your best friend has, because you never get a time away from you. You always know what's going through your own head. You always know how you think when you meet somebody new, and then you don't say it, but you think something bad about them because you don't like the way they look or what they said or whatever. And you know, everybody knows all the inside stuff. Nobody else gets to see that. Yeah. You know, especially in today's world, because everybody's got an issue being honest with themselves and everybody they love. You know what I mean? But you have the biggest problem with you because you know you better than anybody else does. And so you have to get rid of all that stuff. And a huge way to do that, like you talked about, honey, is just fixing your physical health. Because what that will do for your mental health is ginormous.
Absolutely.
Freaking ginormous.
Ginormous.
There's nothing that you can do outside of, sanctifying your soul and getting a relationship with God. There's nothing that you can do for your mental health more, I don't think anyway, than fixing your physical health.
Yeah.
Because I don't really get why people don't realize this more often, but like your brain, it's in your body. You know that, right? Like your brain it's in your head. It's here.
Yes,
and your head is attached to your body and it's connected to everything else beneath your neck, right? So if you have poor gut health, if you have a stressed out immune system, if your nervous system's overtaxed, if your metabolism's all jacked up, if your respiratory system, your circulatory system, all these different things, if you got problems in your body below the neck, you got problems above the neck because everything's connected. Your liver affects your heart and your brain and your kidneys, and your colon affects your small intestines and your gallbladder and your appendix and your skin, and like everything's connected. There's no cookie cutter pick apart. I'm going to do my diet, but I'm not going to exercise. I'm going to drink more water, but I'm not going to try to handle any of my stress. There's no picking and choosing what you like or what you don't like. You take it all or you take none of it. Right? You're all in or you're all out, because the way the body was built, every system depends and supports every other system. So if something, with all to sum this whole up, if something's affecting your body, it's affecting your mind. If something's affecting your mind, it's affecting your body. They go hand in hand. So your mental health and your physical health, they are constantly moving at the same pace, at the same speed. If you got poor physical health, you got poor mental health. If you got poor mental health, you got poor physical health. And so if you're struggling with anxiety or depression or discipline or lack of motivation, or you think that you're lazy or you think you're stupid or all these things, look at it from more than one perspective. It's not just therapy and a pill. It's not just positive affirmations in the mirror. It's your diet and your sleep and your amount of movement throughout the day. All these things come into effect and they all play a role together and they all affect each other. So, if you're finding it hard to prioritize your health and you're finding it hard to stay consistent to stuff or to know what to do and what not to do, then ask for help. But most importantly, look at it from the holistic perspective, like we do, because that's what works the best. Nothing else really works long term. I've been doing this my entire life. I've seen every diet, every type of pill, every company come and go, every methodology and practice and all these things for a long, long time. I don't know everything by far, but I've seen a lot more than an average person. And so far, nothing has worked as well or consistently or as long term as the holistic approach.
Yes.
Not even close. And so for you fixing your own problems, do the same thing. Practice what works. If you see great results with something, or if you know something has a high success rate of victory, then do that. And you're going to have the highest chance of winning.
Absolutely.
Like you guys got to realize we're in a place right now, we're in a state of the world where the Biden administration just appointed a doctor not too long ago that is fully advocating that something like obesity is mostly based on your genetics. Doesn't really have much to do with your lifestyle, your diet, the amount of calories you eat, the sourcing of your foods.
So if I go eat 5,000 calories a day, then depending on my genes,
you have a thyroid problem.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so it has nothing to do with how much I'm eating.
Well, I mean, if you ate more broccoli, it might help, but you mostly have a thyroid problem. So buy my pill. Buy my thyroid pill. I have an obesity pill.
I'm pretty sure that's not how it works.
And if the obesity pill doesn't work, what we'll do is we can cut out part of your stomach. So that way there's less room in your stomach for you to eat. You can't eat as big because it's all genetic, but making sure there's less room in your stomach so you eat less helps with the weight loss.
What if I just literally ate less myself?
No, because that wouldn't work because the genetic problem is what's making you have the mental disorder where you want to eat more.
Oh, well, what if I just gained discipline and chose
because you have a genetic problem, it's really hard for you to do discipline, so eat the pill instead.
Can't you change your genes?
No, because they're genes. Like genetic genes, not genes you wear. You can't just change them like that.
But can't you heal yourself?
No.
Can't you change your brain chemistry?
Only through the pill.
Only through the pill?
Yeah.
What's the success rate of the pill?
Really low. Really low. But you know what I'm saying, guys? We're in a state right now where the pharmaceutical industry, they spent $7 billion on advertising direct to the consumer.
Ka-ching.
That's not what they spent marketing to hospitals and doctors and regulatory boards that manage the medical system and stuff. those are the dollars they spent marketing directly to you, your family, your children, to put commercials on TV and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and the newspaper and all these things. Probably hardly any newspaper, if you're in the newspaper industry. It's not against you personally. It's just, times are changing, right? But $7 billion on advertising just to people. Okay. And this is supposed to be things that are there to help your health. This isn't supposed to be like a business model where you want to market more to sell more product, because the only way that you sell more product is if there's more sick people. But you wouldn't want more sick people.
Yeah, why would you want
because
more sick people?
You're supposed to be in the health industry. Yeah. So why would you want more sick people if you're in the health industry? It doesn't sickness, health, sick.
Wait, there's almost like there's a pattern there.
There's some kind of disconnect. I'm not quite getting here.
Coincidence? I think not.
You guys get what I'm saying?
Do you know what I mean?
You know what we're talking about?
Some kind of connection, correlation.
There's something clearly wrong with the state of things at the moment.
Absolutely.
And until that changes, the only thing you can control is the state of you, your body, and your health. And so if you're not, something else, somebody else, some other thing is controlling your state if you're not.
Yeah.
Right? If somebody comes in the room and they say something really hurtful and you get all angry and emotional and stuff, they're being a doucher, no question. But you let them control your emotional state. Yeah. Right? Because something they did triggered a reaction from you. Yeah. If you thought to yourself and you before they came in the room and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to be angry today. And you just choose to be angry. Sure. All the power to you. You made yourself angry. But if somebody else is making you angry or happy or sad or depressed or excited or down or poor or rich or sick or healthy, if somebody else is affecting your life more than you, they're the ones in control. They're the thing in control. And if you are not that thing in control, you have no dictation on the outcome. The person in control decides what the outcome is. Yeah. So if you're letting establishments and systems and things in this world that do not have your best interest at heart control and dictate where your life goes, where your body goes, what you put in your home, what you put in your mouth, what comes out of your butt, you are not in control of the results. And so I wonder why they're probably bad right now. And the only way to fix that is to get back in control. Learn how to create and eat and follow a healthy diet. Learn how to get yourself hydrated. Learn how to exercise properly without blowing out your shoulder and build a strong, healthy, athletic physique. You have to take control of yourself and do these things for yourself, because you're the only one that has to live in your body. You're the only one that has to live in your mind. Nobody else has the thoughts that you think. Everybody thinks the same. Well, not everybody. A lot of people think the same, but nobody has to sit there and take it like you do. Yeah. Nobody has to take living you like you do. So if you want that to change for yourself, for your children, for your husbands and your wives and your families, then you got to take life by the reins, and you got to do it because nobody else will. And the job has to get done. So you have to do it. Yeah. Because there's no other option. You have to get to the place mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, socially. Like, you just have to draw the line in the freaking sand and decide that there is no other option than me leaving this planet after a long time and a very healthy life with a prosperous, successful, happy, well-built family. Just that simple. There's no other option, because nothing else is satisfactory. No. Nothing else will be accepted. And when you get to that place and you stick to your guns, that's when you win. Mm-hmm. It's not about just making the choice. You got to make the choice. That's step number one. Step number two is you got to back that up and not go back on your own word. Because how many times, exactly, how many times have we set a New Year's resolution and didn't stick to it? How many times do we make a promise to ourselves? Oh man, I'm so motivated right now because I just watched an awesome video on YouTube, and I'm going to go wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to do my papers. I'm going to do my homework. I'm going to make my bed. I'm going to do all these crazy things. And then you maybe get a day in, maybe two, maybe you go for a week. Maybe let's say you're a rock star and you go a month consistently of doing all the things that you said you would do. But eventually, almost every time, something snaps, something breaks, and you go back on your word. Mm-hmm. You made that decision, but then you didn't stick to it. So life's all about choices. Choices are everything in life. Everything that is in your life right now that is happening on a consistent basis is because of the choices that you made to get to the place where you're at. Yeah. And so if you want to get to a better place or a different place, you have to make better choices. And the only way you can make better choices is by getting access to more wisdom, more knowledge, getting a better understanding, changing and healing your mind, the way that you think, developing yourself as a person, fixing your body, fixing your emotional health and your mental health, and just, doing work on your soul.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what provides the long-lasting help.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest issues too is like sometimes people just like, because like again, like how we said, like people just put their health on the back burner, right? A back burner, right?
It's now officially back burner.
Yeah, exactly. But if you just wait around for things to happen, then you're not going to be prepared when something happens to you. Like for instance, all of the chemical fires and spills that have been occurring,
look at the train in Ohio.
Yeah,
look at all the chemical fires and the factory fires in Florida. I think there was
up to like 20, literally.
I know.
Literally, yeah, like 20.
Just this year alone,
yeah.
we're just barely halfway through the second quarter of the year, not even 6 months in.
Yeah,
and we've already had 20, 30 chemical spills, some way, somehow, trains, factories, boats, trucks. Doesn't matter, releasing toxins into the air, into the water, into the soil, right? Like just if you take Ohio alone, with all the reports that we've gotten from the people firsthand and everything you can see from the weather patterns and the wind, all that kind of stuff, and how it was so close to the Mississippi River, like that stuff spreads everywhere.
And like
everywhere.
And like
the whole the eastern half of the entire continent has been exposed. They saw smoke and chemical trails from the train going all the way to the top of Greenland within a matter of hours. Mm-hmm. Right? And like you guys think that that's not going to affect you? We're talking about extremely harsh chemicals that, with the way that they were processed and treated and stuff, turned into way worse and much harsher chemicals. Stuff that was banned because of its use in World War II and that sort of thing, right? Like just look up phosgene, look up the history of phosgene and how the vinyl chloride and what that turns into after a certain exposure to heat.
Do you know how much they make every single year of polyvinyl? 40 million tons.
Dang.
40 million tons.
That's crazy.
40 million tons. And not only that, but when trains, like when they go through like different cities and stuff, like with carrying hazardous toxins and stuff, if they're going through your town, that's not made available to the public.
Oh, of course not.
They can't.
Not.
Like they won't.
They're not going to do no public service announcement.
Like
that's going to take up too much resources. Too much taxpayer dollars.
But yeah, they're saying like they're not liable to even share with you. So even if you were like, oh hey, there's been a lot of spills lately, I'd rather like not to be near near the train when it passes through my town. You don't know. There's no way for you to know. And a lot of it's very interesting too, because a lot of these spills and accidents that have happened, they've been in small towns, like
small towns with real big access.
With real big access for sure. And also after the spill that happened in Ohio, the Norfolk South.
Yeah, Norfolk Southern.
Southern. Yeah, they didn't even supply tests for the residents to test and see for vinyl chloride.
Well, yeah, no, because they're testing for very particular things.
Yeah,
but. They're testing for the talking points.
Yeah, but even after that occurrence happened, it was only like a few days that they cleared residents out, and then when the residents came back in, they had like dead wildlife and pets.
Guys, the reports that we've gotten ourselves, not just like going off of articles or newsletters or videos on YouTube and TikTok and stuff, like the real world accounts that we can verify because they're people that we know and are actual. We can verify they're real human beings, right? It's not good. Like something's wrong when you go spend a day or two in a certain part of the world and you come back and you have like violent and aggressive coughing and respiratory issues after a couple days of breathing just the outdoor air. Right? Like if that can happen to a person in 2 days, what's going to happen to somebody who's living there or living in the surrounding area for a week or a month or a year or 10 years or 20 years? Like how many times have we seen something where there was a chemical spill or, a medical incident or accident or something got released or a drug that got pushed out early or whatever. And then everything looked fine. And then all of a sudden we find out there's a lawsuit 10 years later because, 1,000 people or 10,000 people or 1 million people all develop some weird new type of cancer or some chronic condition,
even like the first hands who were dealing with all the spills and all the chemicals and stuff, like they were like really, really close at the climax of what was going on. Oh, and just to clarify, did I say 40 million tons or 40 million metric tons? Okay, well, it's metric.
tons.
Okay, it's metric tons.
You know,
but yeah, like this is a big deal because they burned it and then it was kind of like, oh, the problem's taken care of.
well, honey, I thought it was a controlled burn.
It was a controlled
wasn't it a
burn, but
controlled burn?
basically, controlled burn. It just means that they're not letting the fire get to the town.
But because like they said it was a controlled burn.
Yeah.
But like it's like a controlled burn means that you can control the amount of oxygen going to the flames, but it was outside.
Yeah, that
Like it was
kind of
outdoor.
really,
How could they?
That kind of doesn't
were
really work.
Were they controlling the air?
I don't think they
must
know
have
how
been
to
because
do
it was
that.
a controlled burn, right?
But it gets going all into the atmosphere. You don't think that's going to spread? That's been spread.
Spreads everywhere. And we're talking about forever chemicals.
Yes.
They're not called forever chemicals because it sounds nice. Okay, it doesn't sound nice.
They have
first
a very,
of all,
very,
so that,
very long
that reason doesn't make any
half-life.
sense.
They have
Okay, I don't know why you were
very
thinking
long
that.
half-life. Yeah.
But they're called forever chemicals because they're gonna last way longer than we will. Okay, way longer than your body and my body and Ellen's
like
body and our
hundreds of
children and
years.
our children's children. They're gonna be around for a while. We don't even know what their half-life is. The best estimates we have on most forever chemicals, because there's thousands of them. Okay,
of course.
The best estimates we have are anywhere between 100 years to 1,000 years for a half-life. A half-life, if you don't know what that means, just means that is when the chemical or the thing that's being studied has decomposed by about 50%, and you double up that time, and it will be completely gone. Okay? We do not know how long these things will be around and when they will go and when they will leave. And because they don't break down, because they don't decompose, because they're not recyclable, right? They get up into the air, they get into the clouds, and they rain down everywhere. They get into the soil, they get on the farms and the crops, they get into the animals that we're eating, the livestock, they get into the water supplies and the rivers and the streams and the lakes and the ocean. And then it's just this endless cycle with all these weather patterns, as water rising and falling and getting deeper and deeper into the ground, and then more stuff getting released and more crazy chemicals getting made. And it's just this never-ending cycle of just garbage. And because that's where the world's at, every single living human being today, to the best of our knowledge, is getting exposed to something that is toxic or poisonous to you pretty much on a daily basis.
Absolutely. And that's just like in the explosions and stuff too. Like think about all the daily products and the pesticides that they put on onto our veggies and all that.
They're allowing well over 5,000 different additives to be put into food that they're allowed. That's not even the stuff that maybe hasn't been studied yet or that is newly getting created, because every single year there's brand new stuff. There's tons of crazy amounts of chemicals getting made all the time, right? All the time.
What Janice said. I have a friend who woke up with black eyes and infection, coughing, feeling sick, nausea, awful taste in her mouth, and she was there 8 hours.
In Ohio? Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
Those are the kinds of things that we're hearing all the time, right? But then apparently it's totally safe. Don't worry about it.
It's fine. You can return after a few days.
Like whatever happened to the canary in the coal mine? What about that? You don't know if there's if there's toxic gas or methane or something in the mine, and so you send a canary down there, and if the canary comes out, then it's probably good for a person. If it doesn't, then you know that it's bad, and you got to do something, right? Like if we have all these fish dying in the water, I don't think the water is safe.
I think that's a tell.
If we have chickens and foxes and pets and farm animals,
rodents,
dying, just falling over and collapsing,
that's a tell.
The air might not be good. I'm not too sure. Time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah, I guess we don't know until we know, right?
Exactly. Because it's anecdotal, guys. We can't really make a concrete, distinct distinction because it's anecdotal. It's not been studied and proven and tested by Harvard, or any other big university.
I mean, it's just like we are organic organisms, and guess what? When you create a synthetic chemical that has been shown to be toxic, and pretty much all of them are in some way. Maybe your body can handle one. Our bodies do a great job at protecting us and stuff. So certain toxins and different synthetic things that we're exposed to, they'll either go right out of our body or they're not as big of a deal right away. But then there's the toxins that can affect people right away that are a lot more potent, that are a lot more, that are corrosive, that are carcinogenic, that are just a really, 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 really bad news.
Sure.
And really, I don't think those should exist at all. I don't know why. A bunch of guys in the lab were
I don't know if the benefits are outweighing the negatives.
Yeah, I wouldn't say.
If you look at things in a macro,
and don't get me wrong. They use these different chemicals for a reason, but people are pretty smart. And when something is so bad that it can literally kill people, like different chemicals and we travel with them and stuff, and we'll make around 40 million metric tons of it every single year, and that's just one single chemical, maybe we're being a little bit too dependent on said chemical. Maybe we need to like find alternatives and you know, substitutes and stuff. Maybe we need to do that. Like, considering how smart people are and how smart they're capable of being, I really don't believe for one second that we don't have the ability to you know, to use less of said chemical, or like find a different way around it for sure. Like I know that, you know, in our modern world and stuff for technology and stuff, even batteries and all these different things, like, you know, switching completely over to a cleaner energy or like different options and stuff isn't very realistic. Not only just like the cost and stuff, but a lot of clean energies that have said that
well, I mean, a lot of that, that's what
really,
they say. That's just because, you know, that's not where the money and the tension's being put.
Yeah,
right?
but
if everybody on the planet all of a sudden just decided that they're only going to eat organic food, watch how fast the price of an organic apple would go down versus a non-organic apple.
It's just a principle,
you know,
of life.
Exactly. So it's just, you know, the more people that wake up and get aware of these whole kinds of things, and the more that the money and the influence and the power gets pushed in a certain direction, that's what's going to be the easiest one to do.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
if the whole world decided and came into, you know, unity about one particular thing, it would get done in a weekend. Doesn't matter what it is.
There's more of us than there is of them.
Could have been anything.
And
you know?
and you know, like these like. It's really I'm sorry, like I'm just like trying
to be careful,
like
with
trying to be
words.
careful with my words, like not swear or something like that, just because the corruption runs really deep.
It does.
And it does, and you'll see that like all over the world. And it's just, there's been too many times, like especially with all these really hazardous chemicals, that people have died, like so many people, and
so many
degenerative diseases,
hundreds of thousands, millions of people,
so many
all
people.
the time.
Is that worth it? I don't think that's worth it.
It's not worth it.
I don't think that's worth it.
But the love of money is the root of all evil. Greed is you know, the thing that is causing all these problems in the world. You know, but like, just again, going back to like the state of things, you know, because we could talk about all the chemical stuff in the Ohio spill for forever. Not just Ohio, but like everywhere. You know, there's factory fires and explosions and things going on to release chemicals into the air, the water, and the soil, literally across the whole freaking continent on a pretty regular basis. So far, it seems like this year. You know, it's nuts. All the way from up north in the high parts of Canada, all the way down to the low south in the States, like, and everywhere in between. I'm sure there's stuff going on in other parts of the world, like in Europe and all these kinds of places too, you know. But regardless, I mean, if we just look at the fact that there is over 5,000 preservatives in food that's allowed, additives, you know, food dyes, things like this, you know, right? If the chemicals that are allowed to be added to food that do not come there in nature, over 5,000 of them in the average diet of Canadians and Americans, okay, just the fact that that's allowed shows that something's very wrong.
With our regulations, with the way things are regulated, like why would that many different chemicals be allowed? There are different ways of preserving foods that have been used for thousands of years. We don't need these toxic chemicals in our food to like make us sick, make our kids sick, pass through the placenta when women are pregnant to the baby, so the baby is like drenched in like toxic chemicals and stuff as it's literally being made. Like it's horrific. It's absolutely, it is against humanity. It is disgusting. It is horrible. It should not be going on.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But that's the way things are at the moment. So again, it's just going back to that, the thing we said earlier, you know, it's mildly important. You need to be in control of your health and be prioritizing your health. Yeah. It is not something you can put on the back burner.
This is not a drill. This is not a drill.
Okay? This is nothing that can be ignored anymore. Yeah. This is nothing that you are just going to hope and pray that because you're young enough and you're healthy enough and you have access to clean water. I'm going to say clean water in quotation marks, because if you saw the water at the different stages of processing before you drink it,
pipes you get your water
it's
from,
just nasty. Okay,
it's like this
just because it's not muddy does not mean it's clean. I don't have any numbers or anything to back this up, but I'll bet you a lot that you're probably going to be healthier long-term drinking some of the dirty, muddy water that you get in the rainwater, all that kind of stuff from places like Africa and the Sudan and all those kinds of things, than dealing with some of the crazy chemicals and the things that you can't taste, smell, or see in the water in first world countries.
Just because
it
it's
is
clear,
brutal.
doesn't mean it's clean.
Totally.
Does
I mean,
not mean it's clean
let's look at one chemical. Okay, just one chemical in water.
Atrazine?
Atrazine. You already knew it was coming. Okay, just for context, honey, how much do they allow in Europe?
In Europe, they allow 0 nanograms.
And
of
how many
atrazine.
nanograms do they allow in the States?
3,000.
3,000. And then what is the amount of nanograms that we've seen from atrazine in drinking water affect frogs and fish and other amphibious animals?
Around 300.
Around 300. And how does it affect them at around 300 nanograms?
It literally starts developing, they start developing eggs in their testes.
So if they're a male fish, because they have testes, of course, they start developing what?
Eggs.
They
can be,
they're a male frog with female frog organs.
Yeah. And they can literally
And you're
give
telling
birth.
me that they allow up to 10 times that in the drinking water for people?
Yes. Yes, they do.
That seems oddly
they're literally
peculiar to me.
You guys, they're literally like these what was it called? Hermaphrodites?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. They're literally able to reproduce with regular male frogs. The hermaphrodites,
Just
they're
crazy.
able to have offspring.
But the point is, and it doesn't matter what your political views or your views on anything.
Yeah,
none of that matters.
Let me just. But when they reproduce, they're much more sick, and they only produce males.
Of course.
Which is
much more prone to disease. They do not last nearly as long. They die early. They develop cancers and pain, arthritis, and things like that. That a frog should not be having.
That too, but also the atrazine is literally chemically castrating our animals.
Exactly.
It's literally chemically castrating. So imagine
that's
what
just
it does.
one chemical.
That's just one.
That's just one chemical. We're not even talking about secondhand and leftover pharmaceutical drugs that get passed through other people because water gets recycled. Drinking water supply and a public water and a lot of the bottled water that we have today gets recycled multiple times. So it can literally go through other people before you drink it because it's already been used and drank before. Like that's just bananas, right? But we're not even talking about secondhand pharmaceutical drugs coming out of the bowel movements and the urine of other people that they take. Even if you're not on a prescription, you might be getting exposed to the same chemicals that people that are because their pharmaceutical stuff is in the water that you're drinking. Okay, we're not talking about the chlorine and the fluoride, which are both known to be extremely toxic to people.
Very much so.
Right? They killed lots of bacteria in the body, good and bad. That's why we put chlorine in the water because it sanitizes it and it kills all the bacteria.
What does it also do?
But it also kills the good bacteria, and so it directly affects your immune system. If you need proof of that, go to a public pool, spend 20 minutes, and come out and tell me that you do not have a stuffy or a runny nose. That is because you are getting an immune response because the chlorine is getting into your skin, through your pores, into your blood, and your body does not like it, and so it's causing a bunch of mucus to try to collect all that chlorine so it can't hurt you and spread throughout the body.
And that's right. And the cities and towns, like their water systems and stuff, they can't take out the pharmaceutical drugs. They can't take out
just like you were talking before. Like if anybody really wanted to, we could fix these problems. We could end homelessness. We could fix starvation.
We could fix a lot of
but
issues.
That's not where the money's going. So we can.
Yeah, we can.
It's possible to do it.
Definitely possible.
But it's not being done.
Yeah.
And so like all these crazy things, the amount of various different we don't even get me started on freaking biosolids. That's a whole can of worms. That's like a 3-part series for the podcast just by itself. Okay, with what they're doing with those, like they're taking all the sludge and the junk and the garbage from the processing of the water, all the things that they try to take out from the recycling, and it's so toxic and poisonous that they can't even get rid of it. They can't expose it. They can't recycle it properly because it has to be handled with such care, and it's borderline radioactive. It seems like, I don't know what else you could compare it to, but it's just so volatile, and they have to be so delicate with it that they can't put it in a landfill, they can't put it in the ocean, they can't do the normal things that they do with this leftover sludge and junk and all these chemicals that get created through the processing of all these things, from water to food to drugs and supplements and all these kinds of stuff. So what do? They discovered and they identified that it has some nitrates in it, and it has some other ingredients that are technically good for the soil. But not really, because it has tons of crazy garbage in it, and it's extremely toxic and polluted, and it would kill a person if they got direct exposure to it. But what do? They market it as fertilizer. And they sell it to farms. And then those farms spray and use and spread the fertilizer on their crops, on their land, for the animals to eat and for the vegetables to grow in from your potatoes growing in shitty dirt. pun 100% intended, okay? And then that stuff gets into the food, and then we eat it. It gets into the soil, and then it humidifies and steams up, gets into the air, and then it rains, and it spreads, and then just, it's just crazy, right? And it gets into the water supply, so this current state of things, sum this all up, bad.
Yeah, just not good.
If you look into it, the current state of the world, bad. The good news is none of this stuff is going to last forever. All of these problems will get fixed. There is a plan, and the good side's winning every single time, no question.
Absolutely.
And the even better news is that you and your family do not have to be victims of all the stuff going on. Anything that you found out that sounds horrible, that sounds bad, doesn't matter. There is an answer to every possible problem in the universe ever.
Absolutely.
And especially when it comes to your health. I mean, if you guys need the help is there. It can be found. All right. If you're watching this podcast right now and you're not quite sure where to turn to, who to ask for help, what to do, what to say, what to think, there are answers. Okay. And if you need help, we will be more than happy to help you. If you don't want help from us, that's totally fine. I'm sure there's other people in the world that can do it too. But, regardless, the help is there, whether from us or from anybody else, okay? And so if nothing else, just know that giving up is not an option, okay? Submitting and accepting a life that is full of pain and suffering and just horribleness is not an option.
No.
You were created and you were designed and built for better than that. That is not the plan that was there for you in the beginning, okay? So don't settle for less than you have to. For you, for your family, for your children,
don't live
for your wives and your husbands. You can improve your health, and so you must, right? You can make your life better, and so you must. You can choose to be grateful and be positive and be happy and make today a great day and make tomorrow a great tomorrow and make your life a good life. And so you have to, because you can. And there's just no other option, right? Any other way of thinking just makes absolute zero sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's completely backwards. And so you have to do these things because you can, because the opportunity, the potential, and the ability to do them is there. I mean, honestly, we've seen at this point virtually practically every single type of health problem you could think of be improved or completely reversed. Not because we're amazing. We didn't even do anything. It's all just the body. The body has everything it needs to do all these jobs. I can't go in and pump your blood. That's your heart, right? All we can do is we can make your heart better and healthier and make it function stronger.
Yeah.
Okay.
The body is what heals people.
That's absolutely.
The body is what heals people. It's always God or the body.
Yep.
And so your body can heal itself. It knows how to heal itself. It once was healthy. It once, it has all the blueprints. It knows what to do. But when your body has to focus all its energy on like all these other things, like just your vital organs, and then your other organs are suffering, or you're suffering from all these symptoms because you're not treating yourself right. You're not giving your body the right amount of sleep, or sleeping at the right time or something, so it has time to even repair and work its functions, work its design, do what it's supposed to do. If your body doesn't have what it needs to do what it's supposed to do, you're not going to get that need fixed. You're not going to have that need fulfilled.
Totally.
And so a lot of people are missing out extensively much, and they don't even know what it is to be healthy, to be without symptoms. Because they don't know, they don't understand like how toxic our world is.
Yep.
And also they don't understand like how much you actually can, what you actually can do about it.
Yeah, they have, like I say this all the time. We talk about this a lot. We tell this with every one of our clients and everyone that'll listen to us. We may probably sound a little bit crazy at this point, but I mean, I truly believe that the biggest reason, there's two main things, but the biggest reason why people, society, why your friends and family, why everybody just always makes these stupid decisions all over and over and over again, why they continue to drink on the weekends and do drugs, and why they keep eating McDonald's and, drinking tons of coffee and having all this sugar. Like everybody knows that they do things that are bad, and most of the time they know that they're bad, but they keep doing it anyway. And I thoroughly believe, like in my bones, in my soul,
in his soul,
that people do that and they make those decisions and they don't break those bad habits. They don't change. Of course, a lot, they're deceived. If you're making decisions like that and it's going to lead to a life of pain and suffering, you know, like there's no, I don't know any other way to describe it other than just somehow, some way, like, you know, you're deceived.
If people
you just
knew
don't know
better,
what's going on.
If
you don't know
knew
better,
they would do better.
Exactly.
If people knew better, they would do better. And it's not just like the belief, like, oh, hey, if I drink a ton and you know, go and like party out and stay out all night long and everything like that, it's gonna be bad for me. But it's also like understanding it. It's not just believing. Believing it isn't enough, but understanding, like actually comprehending and taking a second to actually understand on a fundamental level, like on like the level that you need to understand about how bad this is for you. And it's important enough for you to like your health and your life is important enough to you to actually, you know, prioritize, to fight for, to, you know, to have a good life, If that's important enough to you, then you would take those actions necessary to have a good life and to be healthy. But people don't understand.
They don't understand, you know, and they're deceived. And that's number one, right? Yeah. But number two, like, and this is the biggest thing that I think that when people finally get this and they grasp it and they understand it, like it helps people change, you know, a lot. But just people make those dumb decisions and they do those stupid things and they don't do the right stuff and they don't make the right choice and they don't eat the healthy things and drink the good water and make all these changes. Everybody knows, you know, most people know way more than what they're doing. Yes. Right? So many people are just very, very, very ignorant and they don't know or understand nearly enough to actually create a super, super healthy body and, you know, overcome all these things. And I get that. There's so much information out there, good, bad, right, wrong. Nobody knows who to turn to. So many voices, you know, so it's not your fault if nobody taught you the right thing to do, because the chances of you getting access to the right information and then at the right time in your life when you can actually listen to it and, you know, get it exposed to you in the right way where you'll take it, you know, like they're very, very slim. So I understand, you know, why you're in the situation you're in right now with your health, whatever problem it is, you know, and how you got there doesn't really matter. I honestly don't really care. Okay. The most important thing is just getting you out of it, right? But regardless, people don't change and they don't do the things they know to do and they don't prioritize their health naturally already on their own simply because they have no flippin' clue what they're missing out on. They have no idea, not a single shred of how good life could be when you're healthy, when you're free, when you have your mind right, when you wake up and you're not exhausted and you wake up in a good attitude naturally. You don't have to spend 20, 30 minutes meditating and doing all these mantras and these positive affirmations just to cope with the world. Yeah. You know, like people just have no clue what they're giving up on by choosing the alcohol, by choosing the Big Macs, by choosing to stay at home and binge the new season of their favorite show on Netflix for 8 hours and not move and not have their lymphatic system circulating and not have their blood pumping and not doing all these things that everybody knows. They don't know what they're giving up on by not going to the gym or not going outside and getting some sun or not, you know, treating their family with love and kindness and respect. Like, you know, people just do all these dumb things because they have no clue what life could really be like, and they just are not aware what they're giving up by giving it up. Yeah. Because they don't know. You know, they haven't experienced it. They forgot what it feels like to be healthy because they probably haven't been since they were a kid. You know, I honestly, I can't think of the last time that we met someone that was healthy for the majority of their lives. Long story short, if you look at the numbers, okay, if you look at the rate of chronic illness and disease, it is skyrocketing. If you look at the amount of the ages of people developing cancers and mental illness and all these things, like the age limits are going down. You know, it's happening sooner and sooner and sooner in life.
In people's lives,
the likelihood of something going wrong with your health, some kind of a problem or sickness or an issue that is going to take out your finances because of medical debt, or, you know, you'll have to spend, you know, ridiculous amounts of money on all these stupid things that people think they got to do, like stem cell replacement therapy and hormone replacement therapy and surgeries and wheelchairs. You know, like we're not too long ago, we were talking with a family and they had a $1,300 bill for one ambulance trip from the hospital.
Isn't that disgusting?
You know? That's crazy to me that's even possible. You know, but regardless, like if you look at this state of things and you just take a step back and you just look at stuff, you know, from a fresh perspective and you just, you know, like ask yourself, despite what I've been taught, despite what the news says, despite what my programming and conditioning has been just being in this world, like, does this make sense? Does this look good? Is this the future that I want for myself and my spouse and my children? And if the answer is no, then please, like, do something about it, okay? Because like, there's no excuse ever. If you don't have any money, that's fine. You don't need to be a millionaire to be healthy.
No, you don't.
If you don't have the knowledge, that's okay. You have access to the internet and you have access to people, and you're sitting there and you're watching this podcast right now, and you can go back and you can watch previous episodes and watch episodes in the future, and like you'll be able to learn. Okay, like you guys have all the opportunity and potential that you need to be healthy,
to make
and
those
you
changes.
Absolutely can. I don't care what the problem is. I don't care how long it's been going on for. I don't care how much pain you're in, honey. I'm sorry, I'm going to close up soon, okay? I know you got to pee. But like, it does not matter what the issue is, okay? Your body is so much better and smarter and way more infinitely better designed than whatever problem you got going on, whatever bacteria or virus or sickness or disease. It doesn't matter. It can all be overcome. The fact that you have the ability to watch this podcast right now and listen to what we're saying and even hear us and see us or read the transcription, or that you have internet and you have a device that can play this right now, like lets me know that you are in a better state and in better health than some of the worst cases that we've seen, make way better recoveries than you'd ever think possible. Yeah. Okay, so I know that if they can do it, you can do it too. So Absolutely. Just, if nothing else, leave with hope. All right?
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you for your time.
We loved having you.
So we're gonna end off the recording right now. Everybody that's watching live, and from our community, from Warrior Nation, just give us 1 second. We're gonna have a pee break, and then we'll come back and we can do some Q&A. We can hang out a little bit longer. But for all of you guys watching on YouTube and Rumble and Spotify and all that kind of stuff, we're gonna close out the recording. So thank you so much for being here.
Everyone.
Thank you for listening. I hope that this was helpful. This was kind of more of like an off the cuff one. just us speaking from the heart.
That's just how we roll.
And hoping that something that we say can just wake you up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Maybe change your mindset a little bit and make you think or question things or look at stuff from a different perspective. But the moral of the story, like we said before, you need to be healthy. There's no other option. And you won't be long term if you don't make yourself healthy. Okay? And you easily can. Being healthy is not complicated. It does not require, a mega amount of money. You can do it very simply, very easily, even if you have a massive problem. Yeah. We've seen it, go to our results page like Ella talked about earlier. There's people on there that have completely impossible problems and they've been fixed. And if they can do it, you can do it too. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time.
Thank
you all for being here. We're going to open things up for Q&A in a second.
Yeah.
But we just got to go pee. All right? Have a fantastic day. See you guys in a second. We'll cut this out of the recording. That's fine.
Okay. I don't see L.
What?
Interesting.
I see L?
I see L just fine. Usually for me, if I have to use the restroom, I can't speak or do a long speech or something like that. I'm just that's why I was yeah.
I know. It was a tough one. It was a tough one.
But it was impressive.
It's a terrible fact. No, I know. I got it. So I'm holding it.
You know what? I was gonna say the same thing. Hey guys.
Yeah.
We're really.
Okay, let's just close up the recording.
Okay.
And then we'll do a pee break.
Hey
and then
guys, we're gonna take a short break. Sorry about that.
Can we close the recording first?
I'm not stopping you from doing it, Justin.
That's a blooper.